Copenhagen, spring 2015. Buses are moving through the streets at a lazy pace. 5A, the busiest bus line in the country, arrives at each stop with less than a 5-minute interval, escorting school children, busy professionals, tourists, the young and the old. At the three lakes in Copenhagen Central, people are feeding the ducks and swans. Children are laughing. A hospital clown hurries to work, his red nose and makeup already in place. All is right with the world. Meanwhile, a little girl is dreaming, but instead of dreams of happy things and bright days, these dreams are of darkness and evil. The child is whimpering in her sleep, reaching out for someone to hold her and keep her safe. In the darkness of the room, a creature is lurking, feeding on the nightmare like a starved man on a feast. Meanwhile, in Rødovre, a young girl is sitting at her kitchen table. She's got homework to do, but it's incredibly boring. She'd rather be almost anywhere else at the moment, but she's got an assignment that needs to be handed in the following day. It's difficult to focus on the numbers and letters on the screen of her laptop, though. They seem to be moving. In fact, they are moving. The last thing she realizes before she sinks down over her computer with a groan is that the letters are spelling out strange words she's never seen before. Words like knocker, redcap, and she. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Copenhagen Dreaming. This is the introduction for one of our characters. Her name is Agnes, or Agnes in English. She will be played by a good friend of mine, Astrid, who is currently sitting right next to me here. So if there is a slight echo from time to time on the recording, it is because of that. Also, we have a small disclaimer today in that this year's batch of students have just finished their semester, and that in Danish tradition includes driving around the city in open buses or trucks, playing very loud music and screaming at the top of their lungs. So if suddenly there is strange background noise, that is why. And yeah, welcome, Astrid.
Thank you. And
well, I've set the scene basically for what happens with Agnes. In this case, she's out cold at first, obviously, but that doesn't last. She does get back around eventually, but her computer screen is now cleared. There's nothing there. It's as if the computer has been turned off. What do?
Press the buttons, kind of panicky because this assignment is really, really important, and starts to look around. Is my brother around? He usually helps me with my computer problems.
There's nobody there. Nobody except yourself and a computer that flatly refuses to cooperate.
Mom? Dad? Niels? Yes, Pa! It's not funny!
Nope, it's really not. And nobody is answering. Except, after a few moments, there's someone tapping on the window to the kitchen.
Looks up to the window and can't really figure out if it's scary or I'm really curious. So
question of course is, do you live on the first floor or on the second or further up?
I do live further up, but it could be a bird.
It could be a bird. Yes, it could be. Except you can see someone, you can actually see a hand tapping on the window.
That must be my older brother figuring out how to climb the walls. I'm gonna give him a scare. So I'll walk over to the window and stick my head out.
Yeah. There is someone out there, or something more like. There's a raven sitting on the perch right outside. There's nobody there who could conceivably have a hand. There is a raven, which is obviously a rather large bird in itself. It's not a crow, but an actual raven. And it's looking straight at you, tilting its head slightly to the side in a very curious and interested kind of way, as if it's just like, hello, what are you doing out here? It doesn't speak, but it's pretty clear from its intentionally looking at you that it's finding you incredibly interesting.
Oh, hello, birdie. Have you seen my brother?
It hops in through the open window into your kitchen.
Whoa! I didn't mean for that to happen. Hello, I guess?
Hello.
Hello?
The bird answers. Ravens can learn how to speak a few words. This one looks straight at you and says hello.
Hello?
It repeats itself. Hello?
Can you say anything else than hello?
Yes. Quite a lot, actually, says the bird.
I just stare at it.
Yeah, this is a little bit... This is a bit weird, I know, says the bird. But, you see, you're in a little bit of trouble.
I can always find my way out of trouble. I'm probably just dreaming.
No, you're actually waking up from a dream. This is really happening, and there are bad people on the way here.
As in bad people criminals? Or bad people students who didn't like my father failing them?
Worse. They're called redcaps. Think of them as a really nasty gang.
So my dad's old students.
Possibly. I wouldn't know, says the bird, but we really need to get you out of here before they arrive, because they're very violent. And if they find you here, they're gonna make mincemeat out of you, and we don't want you to be turned into mincemeat.
I'm just gonna assume that you say at some point gonna tell me that you are gonna tell me who we are, but yeah, I don't like meat, so let's go.
Okay. The bird hops across the floor, and then after a few hops and skips across the floor, it's like, okay, this is very silly. This is not going to work. One moment, and right before your eyes, the bird turns into a young girl with raven black hair. She is dressed. It should be pointed out. She is fully clothed, and she looks at you, and it's pretty clear that she's concentrating pretty heavily on something, and she's like, okay, we really need to go.
Whoa, neat trick. Where do we need to go?
Pretty much anywhere except here. I'm thinking it would be a good idea. Yeah, okay, I know where to take you. Don't worry, you're not in any trouble with me. You're just in trouble with the redcaps. Let's go. And she hurries towards, where she presumes the front door is, and promptly moves into the bathroom.
Mr. Bird, Miss Bird Lady?
Yes.
The front door is in the other way.
Oh, I knew that. I think maybe. Okay, let's go that way. I'll just follow you, shall I?
Yeah, I just really quick have to grab my phone and my keys.
Yes.
They're just in my room. I'll promise I'll be quick.
Sure.
So I grab my phone and my keys and leave.
Yes. You follow the bird. It's not follow the leader. It's follow the birdie. You get out the front door. You get down the stairs and out that front as well, and you see an old Volkswagen. The bread-shaped ones, the old minivans. One of those things roll up. The door is kicked open, and 4 people jump out. They look monstrous. Like, totally red hair. Their faces are completely mangled. They look like they've got their hands dipped in blood. Basically, they look absolutely horrific. And they spot you and point and start shouting as they come running towards you.
I run as best as I have ever learned.
Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. Just as you make a beeline for whatever passes for safety, the bird is still there, or the girl is still there. She's running right along with you, and she's like, right now it would be a really good time if somebody could arrive and actually, save us. And she's barely managed to say that before you can hear noise behind you, as if someone has gotten into a fight. You can also hear a horse.
Okay. This is still really weird, but should we just keep running?
Yeah, she looks over her shoulder and is like, oh, okay, I think we're going to be all right for now. Oh, wow. Ooh, ow, oh, that looks painful. Ow, ooh, oh, ow, 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 okay, ow.
Be all right? People are getting beaten up by a horse.
No, but a lance isn't supposed to go in that way. Ow, 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 ow.
I turn and look in the direction she's looking.
There is a knight in shining armor on a horse beating up these 4 people.
Is there like a convention that I haven't heard of? Because J-pop is not supposed to be until September, and I'm not sure it's supposed to be here.
Nope. The girl, ushers you along further along and says, "Don't worry, I'll bring you somewhere safe." That was pretty impressive. Anyway, what's your name? She finally says.
You came to me and told me stuff about me. You don't even know my name. Are you sure you have the right girl?
I'm completely sure, because yeah. Hang on, she says, and fishes out a mirror from inside her clothes and holds out to you so you can see. You don't look like you did this morning. Your ears have kind of grown a little bit longer, and your features are a little bit finer, and yeah, this is definitely still you, but something has happened.
Wow! Where can you get mirrors with Snapchat filters? I want one.
This isn't a mirror with a Snapchat filter. That's how you actually look now. That's why I'm sure I've gotten the right girl.
Are you serious?
Hey.
This is me. Sort of pats my ears.
They feel longer, and she goes like, "Hey, you just saw me turn from a bird into this."
Yeah, but that's you, not me.
Yeah, but the reason why I know I've got the right girl is because, well, enough fireworks to light up the 4th of July in Dallas, Texas just went off over your home. Oh, this is gonna be a lot of explanation, and I'm not the right person to do it. Okay, are you ready for another shock?
I'm not sure. Well, since we already got started.
Right, you're a fairy.
I'm a what now? No. Fairies have wings, and they're tiny, and they sparkle, and I don't see any wings or any sparkles. I mean, you did mention some kind of fireway, but that could have easily have been my brother. But
Yeah.
Fairy?
Yeah, fairy. There are quite a lot of different kinds, and I think the type that you're thinking of is one of the few kinds that don't actually exist.
But other fairies do.
Yeah. Yeah, we have like you and like me and like the elf you just saw someone you saw beating up the red caps back there, and we've trolls and we've satyrs.
Wait, wait. How can trolls be fairies? Aren't trolls, trolls?
Yeah, they're really cool for the most part.
But don't they smell horribly?
No, no, that's just when they go bad.
Like food go
Uh,
bad?
no, like when they go evil.
Oh. Oh. Yeah. Sure.
See, I told you it would be a bit of a shock, and I'm guessing that you don't really believe a word I'm saying. I'm kind of used to that. But yeah, we do. I need to get you to Maya. She's better at this than I am.
Who's Maya?
Maya is one of us. Well, she's also a fairy. She's not like you or like me. She's a satyr. So when you see her, don't stare at the legs.
I can't promise anything. My mom says I always stare when I get confused.
Okay. I might as well warn you then. Have you ever seen what's it called? Hercules, the Disney movie Hercules?
Yeah, of course. Everybody's seen that.
Yeah. Like the little guy, the satyr there, goat's legs and horns.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got that.
Oh.
And a tail.
And a tail. And a tail.
Okay. Um. I need to get better at this cosplaying thing. She mumbles.
Yeah. She brings you to a bus stop and hops on the first one that arrives. And once there, she takes out a cell phone. Gods only know where she's been keeping that while she was a bird. But she takes out a cell phone and she calls, and the moment she calls, it's like, oh, sorry, Maya, I know you don't want to talk to me. I know. I've got the new one. Yeah, we're coming to your place. Yeah, I promise I won't come up. Don't worry. Ooh. And then she hangs up.
She doesn't sound very nice. Why are we going to see her?
She's super nice. She just doesn't like me.
Why not? You seem cool.
Yeah, how do I put this delicately? I didn't want to kiss her.
And she's pissed for that? Well,
No, she's pissed for that, and because I played a trick on her afterwards. And her legs were pink for 2 weeks.
I like pink.
Yeah, I don't think she liked running around, again, hairy legs and all that, and they were all bright neon colored pink. I don't think she didn't like that much.
And she still haven't forgiven you? I'm not really sure I want to meet her.
It's only been a couple of months. She still hasn't forgiven me for it.
Don't worry.
She's super nice. It's just that I probably shouldn't have turned them pink. I mean, maybe if they'd been blue.
Okay, so you're excusing yourself for her being pissed at something that was supposed to be fun?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's complicated. It really is. You'll see. She is nice, I promise. She hops off after 3 or 4 stops on the along the bus road. She hops off and brings you into into an apartment building. Hops in the elevator and goes up 3 floors. and knocks on a door to an apartment, and then immediately steps back into the elevator and just, like, does a finger wave at you.
Wait, are you just gonna leave me here? Like, with a lady who takes offense? How do you think I'm gonna survive this?
And the door to the elevator closes just as the door to the apartment opens.
I slowly turn around and does the one thing I'm not supposed to do. I just stare at the legs and the hooves and sort of just drops my jaw and then look up, like the elevator look, until I reach the eyes. Say,
Yes.
you are much prettier than I thought.
Thank you. Please come in. My name is Maya, and I'm very glad to meet you at all. I'm glad that the others reached you in time. Wow, there's been quite a few new ones recently.
New ones?
Yeah, new fairies.
And none of them have wings.
One of them does.
That's bullshit. The bird lady thingy told me that fairies didn't have wings. I want wings if I'm gonna be a fairy.
I don't think they come on demand. It was kind of strange. The one that had wings is actually a satyr like me. So, you know, imagine me with wings. He looks a little bit like, you know, like a very strange Greek version of Cupid.
Sounds cool.
It is. It is, in a way, I suppose. Anyway, come on in.
Steps over a little bit slow, and then all safe measures kind of just drops, because there's probably a lot of interesting things to look at.
Yeah, definitely. For one thing, her place is practically alive with strange creatures you've never seen before in your life. So, for example, there's a bunny rabbit that's hopping along the floor, except it's got horns, like a jackalope, if you know what they look like. But so it's got antlers. And further into the room, you see two parrots that are playing poker.
This is the coolest place ever. Have you considered, like, taking money from people visiting?
They wouldn't be able to see it. It's just for people like you and me to see. Normal people would just see a bunny and two parrots.
Am I going crazy?
Nope. This is real. It doesn't... Everybody thinks they're going crazy when they see this kind of thing the first time. I promise you're not. You're not going crazy. It's all, you know, as it's supposed to be. But think about it this way. This morning, you didn't even know fairies existed. Now you do. So this can be real too, right?
Well, if you say so. Well, can I touch him?
Yeah.
Point towards the bunny rabbit.
Yes.
Hey, little fella. You're sort of nice. Starts petting him softly.
Yes. Do you have a carrot? It says and looks up at you.
No. I didn't think of bringing that. But I do think I have some licorice in my pocket. Do you like licorice?
No. Everybody offers me carrots. I was hoping that you wouldn't. I like licorice.
Fishes it out and gives it to him.
Yeah, you now have a bunny rabbit with a black face because it's messing up the licorice. all over its face.
Well, you surely like it better than me. You can have the rest as well.
Maya looks a little bit panicky when you gives the bunny the entire thing. And he's like, yeah, I'm letting you out for the night, she says. I don't want to wake up with pellets in my entire room, alright?
Oh, is it like dogs and chocolate?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but you seem to enjoy it so much.
Yeah, he likes it.
He's not gonna get ill, is he?
Oh no, not at all. Just a little hyper. That's all right. Hyper is fine.
Hyper's better than dead.
Oh yes, absolutely. So, okay. How do I best go about this? For some reason, they all bring the new people to me, or send me to find the new people, because they seem to think I'm good at it.
Yeah, that's what the bad lady said. You're very good at it.
Yeah. The bird lady, she says, and her face darkens momentarily.
Oh, come on! It was just pink. Can't you just forgive her and get over it?
See, here's the little thing. Not only were my legs pink for 2 months, right? Or for 2 weeks, but everything I wore turned pink. I'm not that fond of pink. And I walked around looking like something out of a candy floss machine for 2 weeks. All I tried to do was to snog her.
Well, sounds like you've just experienced 2 weeks of being a teenager.
Damn it.
Not looking like you want to and being confused about people trying to kiss you. It's not so bad. I'm a teenager. I can't even figure it out. But hey, I'm not going to be pissed at everyone.
Alright. I'll try. Anyway, she says, would you like something to drink, something to eat, anything of the sort while we sit down?
Do you have tea?
Yeah, sure, definitely. She brings you a cup and some tea. And her whole demeanor is basically one of, okay, now we can relax a little. And she sits down, and the two parrots immediately start squawking about her interrupting their game. She's just like, shoo, you can play later. And one of those two birds then looks at her and goes like, yes, only if you play with us, because you're really bad at it. She promises that she'll play poker with them later. It's like, I can't really... Oh, wait a second. You do have the ears, but you don't have the eyes. I think you're a pisky.
Sprays out to you. A what?
A pisky.
But you said I was a fairy.
Yes, but there are many kinds of fairies.
Oh, yeah. Trolls and fairies.
Yes.
I don't really get that part. Is it really important that I get that? Oh, speaking of important, I really have to get home soon because I have a really important assignment that's due tomorrow, and my mom's gonna get worried, and I really need to keep Jesper out of my drawers.
We'll get you home as soon as it's safe. She says, I promise.
Safe from those gang guys?
Yeah, the redcaps? Yeah, they're really, really mean. But the point being that now they've been shown that you are protected. They're not going to be bothering you at home anymore. It's too dangerous for them.
Well, that's a relief.
There are some, I won't say rules that even they follow, but it's called self-preservation, really. They aren't numerically superior. There aren't more of them than there are of us, so they don't come knocking on people's homes unless, you know, if they think they can catch a new fairy before they get found by anyone else, they'll try to. Other than that, it's just a matter of staying away from them when you see them around the streets of Copenhagen.
Yeah. I'm good at running.
That's good. That helps in their case. They're mean in more ways than one. So you said, okay, let's start from the beginning here, because you said you had difficulties understanding that trolls could be fairies, right?
Yeah, because fairies are small and glittery and have wings, and trolls are large and belongs in different tales, and they stink.
No, trolls are tall and often really hunky and blue.
Blue?
Yeah, they're
Yeah, the
blue.
blue.
And they have horns, not quite horns like mine, but they still have horns. And they're really, really honorable, and most of them are really nice. Um, and when they go bad, then they stink. Then you can tell. Then we call them ogres, not trolls.
So, the big stupid one in Harry Potter, that's an ogre, not a troll,
Yes.
but still a fairy?
Yes, I suppose that's a good enough analogy. Yes.
Cool.
And as I said, we have elves. And actually, maybe it would be a good idea if I could get one of them to come by and you could meet him, because yeah, let me just one second, she says, and takes out her cell phone and dials, and a moment later she's on the phone with someone. She says, "Could you drop by, please, if I ask nicely, sir, because we have a brand new pisky here who really doesn't understand the concept of elves and trolls. So maybe if you could come by and say hello." And she hangs up a moment later and says, "Ah, that should take care of it. At least you get to meet one of the elves."
Elves, as in Lord of the Rings elves, or house elves from Harry Potter?
More like Lord of the Rings elves.
Oh, I always wanted to meet Dobby.
Dobby is kind of cool, but he's not. They don't exist.
So trolls exist, fairies do not. But I'm a fairy and you're a fairy,
Yes.
Yes.
and elves exist as well, but they're sort of, yeah, like Lord of the Rings, and they're fairies, but they don't have wings, and some have wings, but he still have horns and fluffy legs. Can he fly?
No, I can't fly.
No, but the one with wings.
Yeah, I think he can. I think he can fly. I haven't. He's only, it's really recent that he turned up, so I'm not quite sure. I haven't met him that many times, but I'm pretty sure that he can fly.
That's pretty cool. Can I get wings?
I don't think it works like that. No, unfortunately, if you don't have wings now, I don't think you're gonna get them.
Oh, so I'm just stuck with large ears.
To an extent, I suppose you have longer ears and finer features than most, and you should also be a lot nimbler than you're used to.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
just gonna try this. This I've been practicing for so long. She sort of lies down on the floor and reaches down with her head and see if she can actually touch it with her feet.
Yes.
Yes.
This is so cool.
Yep.
Yep.
I can't wait to show them that to the gymnastics team.
You can do that, and I think you will find that most people tend to like you.
Most people.
They already do, mostly.
Yeah.
But even complete strangers are probably going to take to you quite easily. That's what happens for piskies.
It's not just the lovely red hair.
No, although that is adorable, I have to admit.
The freckles?
That too. It's just something in how you guys work and what the dreams are giving you.
Dreams.
Oh,
But
Oh,
the
right.
bird lady said I was waking up.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, to be honest, I really think I'm still dreaming.
No, you're really not dreaming, but we are partly made of dreams. That's the stuff that only we can see. That's the stuff of dreams. Have you ever had dreams that felt super real? Even when you woke up, you were pretty sure that it had actually happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably because they did. Just not in the way that most people think, because there's a dream world and a real world, and we kind of overlap both of them.
So you're saying there really is a cotton candy mountain in my backyard?
A what, sorry?
A cotton candy mountain in my backyard?
There probably is.
Nice! Oh, please don't tell my brother.
I won't, don't worry, and even if I did, he wouldn't be able to get at it. It's all yours.
That's cool.
Yep. There are also all manner of other things in that you only normally see in dreams. So, like I've told all the other new ones, there are dragons in Copenhagen, for example. Just to give you an example of the sort of thing that actually exists.
So when you say like nice dragons or scary dragons?
Both.
So how do you tell a nice dragon from a scary dragon?
The nice dragon typically doesn't try to eat you.
Oh. Yeah. Well, that's fairly easy, I guess.
Yes. If it opens its mouth and you can start to see like flames coming out towards you, it's probably because it's a really good idea to be somewhere else.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I don't think that you're going to be running into a lot of dragons early on, though. It's something that and she stops herself there because somebody knocks on the door. She heads over and opens it, and a man steps in, and he's in full armor. In fact, you're pretty sure it's the same guy you saw beating up the redcaps earlier, except he's taken his helmet off this time. He is, without comparison, the best looking man you've ever seen in your life. He has what equates to 6 points of appearance, which is normally 5 would be the human limit. So he is every conceivable kind of drop dead gorgeous. He's tall, extremely well built. He's got black hair, very sharp features, beautiful grey eyes, and the kind of smile that even Colgate commercials have to Photoshop to achieve.
I simply just stare at him.
Yes. He enters and does a flourishing bow towards you. And says that I am pleased to meet you. I assume that you must be the new person that I was told had just arrived.
Sort of hides in my teacup and mumbles, "My name is Agnes."
There we go. I just there should be a picture of him on your screen as well. And he. He smiles and says, "Well, it is a pleasure to meet you, Agnes. My name is Henrik Silverfeld, and it was my good fortune to be nearby when Raven sent out a call for some help, and it looks like I arrived just in time. Those 4 aren't going to be giving you any more trouble."
Thank you.
You're welcome. He says, I'm a little curious though, Maya. You've been meeting a lot of new kids lately. And Maya just shrugs and goes, "Yeah, I've noticed that as well. I'm not complaining. It's always nice to have new people around."
So there are others like me?
No other piskies, she says, but we found several others recently. And Yeah, sure, we find a few every year, but it's been quite an influx in a short time. So I'm kind of thinking that there must be something going on.
What kind of something? It doesn't really sound good when you say it like that.
It does. It's not a bad thing at all. In fact, it's a good thing when there are more of us. It means, how do we put this? Have you ever seen The Never-Ending Story, the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the nothing from The Never-Ending Story? It's the great big horrible thing that swallows up people's imagination.
Yeah, I remember I was really scared of it when I was little.
Yeah. It's not that far from the truth. And you see, when more of us arrive, it's because people's imagination is running wild, so it's a good thing. Something must have happened to inspire a lot of people to have all this extra, all their dreams, all their imaginations must be on overdrive, which is really cool.
That might be the new special effects movies, because they seem really, really realistic, and it's awesome.
Yeah, although I think it's possibly some really good films, but it's also got something. It's got to have something to do with people's lives in general, something to look into, something to figure out. That's it's super cool, whatever it is. It's and that means that, as I said, it means that there are quite a few new kids for you to also meet. So you won't be learning all the, oh wow, look, being new to being a fairy all on your own. There are going to be other people to learn with.
Speaking of learning, that assignment, how much time do you really need? Because I really need to get back to it.
Henrik, could you give us some more time? And he smiles and pulls out, or he takes his hand out, his right hand out of his gauntlet, and just snaps his fingers. And you could swear that there is a little bit of glitter in the air when he does that, just a little bit. He says, "I think we've got another hour. I can do things with time," he says.
That's pretty neat.
Slowing it down quite a lot, so we have another hour or so, and I'll bring you home afterwards. Don't worry, he says.
Sort of hides in my teacup again because I realized I stared at it. So thank you.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. No, he doesn't mind that you're staring. He's being very nice about it. And Maya is smirking just a little bit, and you can see when she stands up to go and get something, her tail is wagging, and she leans over when she comes closer to you. She leans over near you and says, "It's okay to stare. He is that gorgeous."
But turns red in the face.
He laughs. It's quite a pleasant sound, actually. And he says, I'm guessing that I am the first of my kind that you've met."
Yeah, well, I've met, what did you call it, Raven? That sort of fits her. And yes. I don't really count meeting those disgusting the red caps.
Yeah.
Then you and Maya.
Okay. Raven is what's known as a puka. They are tricksters and really fantastic liars. Raven is pretty good at being honest for at least a little while at a time. Mostly though, they tell huge fibs more or less all the time. And Maya is a satyr, as I'm sure she's already explained, and I'm what's known as a she, or an elf in Danish. It's an Irish word originally.
So you're not female?
No, I'm not a female. people think so when I say that, but no.
Well, you do say she.
Yeah, but it's not spelled the same way.
Ah.
We tend to just call ourselves elves around Denmark anyway. It's easier. People get less confused.
I can imagine. I'm confused.
You're probably also confused because all of this is really new.
Well, I normally get confused.
All right. I hope I can help clear up some of the confusion at least.
That would be very nice.
So, any questions you have, please ask them.
I'm just going to be very blunt.
Sure.
What the fuck is going on?
You are turning into one of us, or have turned into one of us. There are about 130, 140 fairies in Copenhagen all in all, and now you're one of them. And it's never easy when it happens, because people think they're going mad, or they're dreaming, or a combination thereof. It sometimes takes weeks for people to fully understand and realize that no, this is in fact quite real. I remember when it happened to me, I was firmly convinced for about 6 months that I was going to wake up in a moment. And then I realized that I wasn't waking up, and that it was actually all quite real. It's a bit much to take in at first. I'm not going to pretend it isn't. But basically, a lot of the things that you dream really is real. The same thing goes for humans, for people, like normal people. When they dream, the dreams that they have give life to things in the dream world. We call it the dreaming.
So, sort of the opposite of the nothing.
Yes, precisely. That's exactly right.
Then why isn't it just called everything?
That's a good question, really. I think it's because the nothing was a concept, or something that was invented for a book that was written by a human. But it's a good way of explaining it, because a lot of people have seen that movie.
Oh, okay. So I'm not dreaming,
Nope.
but this is all dreamy stuff.
Yes. To an extent. It's a mixture. It's a mixture of reality and dreams.
Okay, my homework doesn't really seem that hard right now. I'm really getting a headache.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, he says, and puts a hand on your shoulder, and your headache goes away.
Maya?
Yes?
Can I borrow your bathroom?
Yes?
Thank you. Where is it?
Over there.
Thanks. Run to the bathroom.
Yes. You run to the bathroom.
Just look in the mirror and splash some water in my face, like, cool. So this is probably still just a dream. Just play cool. Play cool. Yeah, I can do cool. Walks out, sort of squared shoulders and saturated coolness. It's like, I'm cool now.
Oh my goodness. Yes, and just as you walk out and, saturated coolness and everything, there's another knock on the door. And Maya pops past from the kitchen, opens the door, and lets in this person. And yes, she is in fact blue.
everything just sort of swooshes out like a balloon just going the jaw dropping and staring and all over again.
Yes, so much for playing it cool. Yes, you get to she enters and looks at you and smiles. Oh, hi! I haven't met you before. Are you? And Maya just breaks in there and says, "Yes, yes, yes. She's new as well. We've had so many new arrivals lately. Regge, meet Agnes. Agnes, meet Regge."
You're blue.
Yes, I'm a troll.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, she's really new, isn't she? She just comments. I came by because Raven flew in and said that there had been red caps in this part of the city, so I figured maybe somebody could use a hand. And then I get here and I can see that well, you've probably already taken care of them, my lord. She says and looks at the she in the room, and he just puts on his most picture-perfect hero pose and smile. And it's not even hammy. That's the worst part of it. That's, he's standing in a way where if anybody else had done it, you would be groaning. But because he is what he is, he cannot be made to look foolish. It's impossible for a she to look foolish. So he actually pulls off the whole hero pose and Colgate smile perfectly. The bastard. And he just nods and goes, yes, they fled before my lance and the trampling hooves of my steed, as they were meant to. And Maya just looks at him and admittedly she claps, but it is more like a golf clap. So she's like, yes, but there were only 4 of them, and it's you. You're the best swordsman in all of Copenhagen. What chance did they stand? And he just beams. Thank you for the compliment. I shall certainly not naysay you. He says, if you say I'm the best swordsman in Copenhagen, then so be it. And but yes, it does mean that the red caps in question are in fact gone, Regge. But thank you for coming by anyway. Just in if I hadn't been here, we would certainly have needed help. And she nods and says, "Well, I'll still gladly help. Take her home when she needs to go." And Maya comes back in and says, it should be just about safe to head back home now if you want to, she says, but let me just give you my phone number because you're going to have a million questions over the next few days. And believe me, that when you wake up tomorrow and you see yourself in the mirror in the bathroom and you realize that you still look like you do, and that you start to understand that no, all of this was in fact not a dream, you're going to want to make that phone call.
Hold on a second. Are my parents gonna see these ears as well?
Probably not. Not unless one of them is like us, or what's known as kinane, which is, that they could be not quite like us, but almost. But I don't think any of us knew about them. So I don't assume that that's the case. I don't think they will see it.
That's probably a good thing. My mom tends to be awfully nervous when stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, considering that we're also known as changelings, that's sort of skifting in Danish. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe let's assume that you shouldn't tell her anything.
But we're skifting.
Yeah.
That means that we're trolls. So trolls are fairies, and fairies are trolls, and fairies are not fairies, and fairies can also be piskies and satyrs, and some of them have wings, but most doesn't. Can I please go home now?
Yes, we can take you home. Don't worry. And Rege and Henrik take you home, and it's no problem. There are no more bad guys out there. They just follow you home like they promised they would. And Maya has made sure that you got her phone number. And they say they say goodbye down by the front door, and you're allowed to just go in. They don't make any they don't actually make any pretense of following you all the way up to your front door, because if your parents are home, they don't know these two people after all. So you get up, and when you get in, your mom and dad are home.
I walk in and sort of just looks at the computer and looks at my mum and is like, I promise I'll finish my homework.
It's fine.
I just have to get some air in my head.
Yes.
You know it helps, Mom.
Yeah. I'm sure you will manage.
Okay.
She looks perfectly content and happy with the situation. And as you look out the window, you can see there's a raven sitting on the on the ledge outside, and you could swear that the damn thing winks at you before it flies away.
I just look at the window and go sit in front of the computer and stare at the black screen looking at my ears.
And turn it on, I assume?
Yeah.
Yep.
And try to finish the homework and just getting over with it.
And fortunately, it had been also saved, so you haven't lost any of your work. And I think we're going to stop it there. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was another one of our introduction sessions, and there will be at least one more before we are all done with these. So, we hope you will stick around for that and for the campaign that follows. And for us here, for now, bye.